Hello viewers, welcome to Kids Auto and Truck Repair. Today we have a 2011 Mercedes GL450. The customer complaint on this vehicle is the vehicle is bouncing when it's being driven down the road and the front end of the vehicle is low. So I'm going to show you the wheel here. The ride height of the vehicle is lower than normal. So as you can see over here, the fender is kind of touching the wheel, okay? Now, this vehicle has air suspension, so the front has come down. When the air suspension works well, when you start the engine, the front of the vehicle raises up. But this time, the front of the vehicle is not raising. So let's check the back of the vehicle. So you see the gap that we have between this fender over here and the tire. So we should have this gap over here. So the ride height in the back is good, but the front is lower. You see, there's no gap here. So what's the problem? So as you guys know, or as you guys can guess already, the air suspension has a malfunction. So there's a problem. Something is causing the front end of this vehicle to be lower than normal. Okay? Actually, if we want, we can go on a quick test drive so we can confirm what the customer is saying. So let's start the engine. There is a message on the dash. There is a symbol of a vehicle on the dash showing the ride height of the vehicle needs to go up. So I'm gonna start the engine. So the SRS light is on the dash. So the engine is running. Let's go outside. I think I heard the air suspension run. I heard a leak. I don't know if the camera is picking this up. There is a leak somewhere. So it looks like we have a leaking air strut. I think the air compressor is somewhere here and I can hear it running. So the air compressor is running, trying to raise up the vehicle, but the vehicle is not going up. Okay, the suspension is not going up. So we most likely have a leaking strut. Now the air compressor has stopped. So the air compressor for the air suspension was running, trying to send air in the air suspension system so that the ride height can increase, but it didn't. So I believe we have a leak somewhere. Okay. So we don't even have to test drive this. If you want, we can just go around the shop. We're not going to drive far. We don't want to cause any damages to the system. I can go around with you so you can see how the front end of this vehicle is bouncing, and then we're going to put it on the lift. We're going to check the air compressor and then we'll go from there. Now, I don't think the issue is the air compressor, but we're going to check it anyways. We might have a line that's leaking. So look at this. We have a symbol of a car that has an arrow up, okay, showing that the ride height is lower than normal. So the ride height should go up. So the suspension needs to be lifted. So the suspension needs to go up. Okay, so that's a pretty easy one. Now we need to figure out where the issue is. So now I want to drive you around our lot so you can see how the vehicle is bouncing up and down, and then we're going to put the vehicle on the lift so that we can check our front suspension. So now let's do that. Hold on everyone, I want to thank you for watching this video. I have a favor to ask you. I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are not a subscriber yet, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So if you have Facebook, head over to Facebook, search Keats Auto and Truck Repair. Once you do that, our logo is going to pop up. This cool logo right here is going to pop up. Please follow us on Facebook. Do the same thing with Instagram and TikTok. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now let's continue with our video. Let's drive on our parking lot and then I will show you how the front end is going up and down like a horse. The front end of this vehicle is bouncing like crazy. I hope the camera is going to pick it up. But if not, we are going to put this vehicle on the lift and then we will see what we're going to find. So I'm going to drive up. Watch this. The front end of this vehicle is, you see, it's like bouncing up and down like a horse. So I hope you saw that. We're not gonna go far. We don't want to cause any damages to the vehicle. Okay. Yeah, that light is on. So there are no lights on the dash, as you can see. The tire pressure monitor light was on because one of the tires was low. I put air in it, so we're good. So now I'm gonna put the vehicle on the lift and then I will bring you guys back up. I got the vehicle on the lift. I took the tires off so we can get access to the front struts. So here's what we got. As you can see, we have air struts, but look how this strut looks. So this strut is leaking. So this is a air spring right here. You see? And then when I touch back here, there's fluid leaking out of this strut assembly. Okay, so this strut over here is leaking, and I believe that's what's causing the ride height to be lower than normal in the front. So let's check the passenger side. So same thing over here, but this airbag is cracking. I don't know if you can tell, this airbag is cracking. So as you can see, this airbag over here is dry. Can you tell the difference between this one and the one on the driver's side? So this one is dry, it's not leaking. So let's go to the driver's side so you can see the difference. I mean, you already saw it, but let's see it again. Okay. You see how wet this one is? Okay, so this strut assembly is leaking. Now, what I'm gonna do is, I would like to start the engine so we can hear if our air pump is going to come on. I think I heard the air pump come on, and I believe I heard an air leak coming from this strut. So what I'm gonna do now is, I'm gonna climb up here. Let's see if we can start the engine. So as you can hear, the engine is running. So I thought we were gonna hear the air leak. I don't hear the air leaking. Okay. And I also don't hear the air compressor running. So I don't hear it. I believe it's because we have the wheels off the ground and the air compressor is not coming on. That can happen because if our ride height level sensor levers are tilted, the air compressor may not come on. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off the engine. I'm going to turn the key on. So now let's use our scan tool so we can turn on the air compressor. I got the scan tool connected to the vehicle. I'm gonna bring it up. So we are in the functional test category. So we're gonna go to electric air pump. So right here, electric air pump, we're gonna click on it. So if the pump is good, when we turn it on, we should hear it. Okay. So right there, I'm gonna turn on the pump. I hope you can hear the pump running. I'm gonna stop it. I hope you heard the pump run. We're gonna turn it on again. So our pump is running. I heard it. I heard the pump running around this area. Let me bring our scan tool here. So I'm gonna turn on the pump. So the air pump is somewhere here below the headlight. I'm gonna turn it on, so listen. I hope you can hear the pump running. I'm gonna stop it. So our air pump runs. Now, since we can hear the pump running, this tells us that the wiring to the pump is good. Now, the pump running does not mean it's building enough air pressure. We could still have a weak pump. So now what I want to do is I want to get to the pump and see how much air the pump is putting out. We are going to disconnect the line that comes out of the pump, the line that supplies air to the shocks. We're going to see how much air coming out of those lines. If we have enough air pressure coming out of the pump, then we're going to go ahead and replace our front struts. So our air struts needs to be replaced. We know that. So especially the driver's side one is really defective. It's leaking. So we have to replace that. I'm going to recommend replacing both of them. The strut on the passenger side seems fine, but I saw cracks on the airbag. So the airbag is cracked. So I'm going to recommend replacing both of them. Now let's make sure our pump is good. And then we're going to go ahead and replace our front struts. So I'm going to get access to the pump through under the vehicle. I'm going to remove our plastic covers that we have under the vehicle so we can get access to the pump. And after that, I will bring you guys back up. I have switched scan tools. I realized that when we were using our snap-on scan tool, the pump that we were turning on was the air pump, the secondary air pump for the engine, not the air pump for the suspension system. So I have this line over here disconnected. This is the supply line that comes from the pump. So this line supplies air to this valve over here. So we're going to turn on this pump to see if this pump is creating enough air pressure. Now, I got into the suspension control unit. I have one trouble code in the suspension control unit. It says suspension strut is implausible. So it looks like our issue is being caused by the driver's side strut that's leaking. Okay, so while we're here, I just want to check this pump to make sure it's good before we make an estimate and tell the customer that she only needs front struts. Okay, so now let's go to our functional test. I'm sorry for the glare, guys. So let's go to functional test. Pneumatic test of component ZCF1 aromatic compressor unit. So it looks like we should be able to turn on this compressor. Let's look up here. So right here, our pump turns on, it's creating air pressure. So the pump is good. Okay, so the pump is creating enough air pressure. I mean, we can use a gauge to see how much air pressure this pump is creating. but this is good. This is enough air pressure for the suspension system on this car. Okay, so that's good. I'm gonna stop the test. Okay, so we're good. I wasn't able to do this test with my snap-on scan tool, so I'm glad that we can turn on this pump with our RTL scan tool. So we know our pump is good, the wiring of the pump is good. So what's causing this vehicle to be lower than normal is the front struts. So we're gonna have to replace these struts, and after that this will be good to go. So I'm going to reinstall the cover that goes over here. I'm gonna reinstall this line back here. I'm gonna talk to the customer. I'm gonna make an estimate for front struts replacement. After we get our struts, we're gonna install them, and after that I will bring you guys back up so I can show you how this vehicle is gonna be fixed. So we're done here. I'm going to reconnect this line over here, and then I will install the cover that goes over here. I don't have to show you the process of installing the cover that goes over here. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna get the strut, we're gonna replace them, and then I will bring you guys back up. A couple of days later, we got new struts for this 2011 GL450. I have already installed our new air struts on this vehicle. So the new struts have been installed. Now we're gonna install the tires, and then we're gonna start the engine so we can see if the ride height is going to be restored. Now, we waited a couple of days to get the struts. I did not want to show you the process of installing the new struts. It's actually a very straightforward and boring process. You have to undo a couple bolts, and then the old strut comes out. After that, you have to install the new struts, and that's it. So I'm gonna show you the old struts that I have removed, and then we're gonna install the tires. After that, we're gonna start the engine. I'm gonna start by showing you the strut on the driver's side. So here is our brand new air strut. Actually, there is no air in the spring, okay? So I haven't started the engine yet. Okay, so here is our brand new air strut. Now I'm gonna show you the strut that came out of the driver's side. So here it is. This is the strut that came out of the driver's side. Look at it. This strut was leaking. Okay, so this is what came out of the driver's side. So now let's go to the passenger side. I replaced both struts. Now the one on the passenger side was not leaking, but it was cracked. Okay, so here is our brand new strut. As you can see, it looks good. Okay, so when we start the engine, the air compressor is going to send air in these air balloons or air springs, and then these will get firm, and after that the ride height will be restored. Okay, so that's our brand new strut right there, and here is the strut that came out of the passenger side. So this strut is technically not bad, but it has so many cracks on it. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Look at these cracks here. So because of these cracks, I decided to replace this one also. And it's always recommended to replace these struts as a pair. You have to always replace them together. Now, if you want to know the part number of the struts that I have installed, here's the part number. Okay, so we got our new struts installed. We're good to go. So now I'm going to install the tires, and then we're gonna lower the vehicle so we can start it. So now let's install the tires. have torqued the wheel bolts off camera. So now let's go in the vehicle so we can start the engine. As you can see, our ride height is lower than normal. The fender is almost touching the tire. So now let's go in the vehicle and start the engine. After we start the engine, the vehicle should come up. Okay? All right, so we're gonna start the engine. As you can hear, the engine is running. So now let's go outside and watch the ride height of the vehicle. So right there, now the vehicle is coming up. Check that out. I heard the air compressor kick in. So right now the vehicle is coming up. I hope you can see the fender rise up. So that's good. It's fixed. So let's go check the passenger side. Very nice. You see how it's coming up? So the ride height is leveling up to the normal height. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but I can hear the air suspension pump running. Very nice. Do you see the vehicle go up? Very good. Now let's go check the driver's side. Okay, so this is good. We're good to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the hood. Let's close the hood, and then we're going to go on a test drive. So the message that was on the dash is no longer there. Okay, so now let's go on a test drive. I'm going to get this vehicle off the lift, and then we're going to take it on a test drive. I'm going to start the engine. So let's take this vehicle on a test drive and see how it drives. So I already like how this feels. This is fixed. We don't have to go far. I can already tell that we're good to go. Okay. As you can see, we don't have any lights on the dash. The symbol of the vehicle with an arrow pointing up on this display is no longer displaying, so that's good. We got no lights on the dash, so we're good to go. This is fixed. The car is no longer bouncing around like it was bouncing before. Nice. This vehicle drives well. So we don't have to go far away. I'm going to turn around here and drive back to the shop. Once we get back to the shop, we're going to wrap up this video. So this is fixed, guys. We're good to go. So this Mercedes GL450 is fixed. Man, this thing has got a lot of power. This is a nice car. Okay, so we are back at the shop. This Mercedes is fixed. We're good to go. Okay, so we are done. This is good. We're gonna have another happy customer. I'm gonna turn off the engine so we can wrap up this video. As you can see, there are no lights on the dash. We're good to go. Actually, we can go outside and look at the ride height. You'll see that the vehicle's height is normal now. Check this out. Okay, our ride height is good, so this is fixed. Okay, so the issue on this vehicle was a defective air strut on the driver's side, so we replaced both of them. Now we're good. So I'm gonna turn off the engine. I'm gonna leave this right over here. This Mercedes GL450 is fixed. The issue on this vehicle was a leaking driver's side front strut. So the strut on the driver's side was leaking. It wasn't holding air. That's why the ride height was lower than normal. We replaced both front struts. Now all is well. So I hope you like the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumb down. But if you do, you gotta tell me why, so we can make better videos in the future. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. If you have any comments, questions, criticism, leave them in the comment box. Thanks for watching. See you next time.